Hello everyone, I am Abhiraj Yadav, third year MBBS at Manipal College of Medical Sciences. A few days back, I passed my USMLE Step 1 and this video is all about my USMLE journey and how you can do it too. So when did I decide to pursue USMLE? During the great COVID lockdown prior my second year university exam, I was scrolling through my phone and came across a very informative video on USMLE, exam pattern and everything. A few days went on finding out what USMLE is all about, and then I came across a resource called UWorld. I solved a few questions of nephrology and did a good number of it right. Then after that, 4 to 5 weeks time, I invested on searching out what USMLE is all about, collecting all the resources and trying out what resource works best for me. And I finalized my main resources at Ports and Beyond, First Aid, Pathoma and UWorld. So the first one is the consolidation phase. So I spent 3 months in this phase. Consolidation is all about gathering the knowledge you need, studying in depth about all the topics, and taking it as a base of your preparation. My study schedule was flexible and depended upon the college lectures. However, I was dedicated enough to study at least 4 to 6 hours every single day, especially for the USMLE. What my daily schedule looked like in the consolidation phase. So I used to wake up early in the morning, and in the morning time I used to solve questions. Then I had my college classes and postings, and then in the afternoon, in the evening time, I used to read first aid and I used to watch video lectures in the night time. All of this was in a Pomodoro technique, that is 50 minutes study and 10 minutes break. So how did I approach the each chapter? So my rule was simple: don't start the questions blindly. If I gonna start the question bank blindly of any chapter, I gonna make the questions wrong. And when I make the questions wrong, my mind will go anxious. So I started off with organ systems. I watched videos and then I read first aid along with and after the videos. Then after that, I solved the question bank of the same chapter. The most important thing in consolidation phase is the annotation. You need to annotate only what is needed, because if you go on annotating everything, you will get lost in the pool of all the knowledge, all the unnecessary knowledge, and you may miss the higher stops. So in this phase, I completed 70% of the first aid content as well as the UWorld. So I spent a very good amount of time in finding out the unique resources, which made me understand the system topics way better than using only one resource. So starting off with cardiology, Boards and Beyond does fantastic job for cardiology. The content creator himself is a cardiologist, so you can find out, so you can just guess the level of the videos that they have. Pathoma, very good for the pathology part. Med School is a YouTube channel. You can hear the heart sounds from there, and the exam heart sounds are somewhat similar of Med School. Endocrine, I don't know why I tried USMLE RX, but it worked well for me for the videos. First aid and UWorld are the common topics, are the common resources for each and every system. You can also try both and beyond videos for the endocrine. Gastrointestinal, physio, does a very good job for the physiology part of the GIT. Pathoma does a very good job for the pathology part. Hematology and oncology, nobody does a better job than Pathoma. Just watch Pathoma, just read Pathoma. You can even skip the first aid part of the Pathoma, first aid part of the hematology and oncology. Just read the Pathoma PDF, Pathoma book for the hematology and oncology, and you are good to go. So musculoskeletal and dermatology, Bosch and Beyond does a very good job for the musculoskeletal videos, but Mailman PDFs will give you a very nice idea how the question will present and what are the most high yield stops from the musculoskeletal. For dermatology, when you go through the UWorld, please make a note of all the UWorld images, because dermatology is all about finding the diagnosis through the images. System-wise resources continued. Neurology, Kaplan videos on neurologies are the best. I think they are of 10 to 12 hours run time. So just watch the Kaplan videos on neurology and solve the UWorld part, annotate well, you will be good to go for neurology. Psychiatry part, Physio videos, all the best time. Renal physiology, both and beyond is the best. I used osmosis for pharmacology part and pathoma for the pathology part. Reproductive system, both and beyond and pathoma. Respiratory system again, both and beyond and pathoma. Now for the general principles, biochemistry, both and beyond wins. I know you guys must have listened about the Kaplan thing. Kaplan is the best, but trust me, guys, I tried both of them, and both and beyond biochemistry is the most high yield, most updated, and it will save you a lot of time and a lot of hard work if you just go through both and beyond. But still, you can try Kaplan if it works best for you. Immunology, go through the both and beyond videos, and then read the Melman medical PDFs. If you can even skip the first aid part of the immunology if you read the whole Mehalman medical PDF for the immunology. Microbiology, both and beyond videos are the best, except for the pharmacology part. For the antimicrobials, antivirals, antibacterials, everything, go for the Kaplan. Pathology, chapter 1 to 3 of Pathoma, you cannot skip that. Pharmacology, General Pharm, Kaplan does a very good job. You can also try out both and beyond. Biostats and public health, I did not use any video resource. I only solved UWorld twice for the biostats and public health, and I was good to go for biostat. For biostats, instead of focusing on memorizing all the formulas, you should focus your attention on understanding the concepts. Since step one is now pass fail, it is seldom that you will encounter a simple question asking for sensitivity or specificity. I was overly worried about memorizing all the pharmacology, biostats, and physiology formulas, and I got zero calculation questions in my USMLE exam. So, how to efficiently use these resources? Both and beyond, just watch the videos. The videos are arranged according to the first aid. Watch the videos, annotate it well in your first aid, whatever is needed. For Pathoma, yes, and now it is a digital world, but I will suggest you to have the book printed. I could not find the original book in my country, so I had to print out the book. Have the book color printed because pathology is all about images. So uh, you will come across offline versus online thing in the web. If you have money, if you can invest, it is a very good investment to go for the UWorld at least 1 to 3 months of subscription. But if not, you are someone like me, then you can go through the offline UWorld and never use the online UWorld. And I just went with the 2 times with the offline UWorld and it worked fine for me. But still, I will suggest you all to buy online UWorld to use it at least for 1 month. Don't rush through blocks while solving any question bank. Know why is that option right and why all these options are wrong. Explore additional resources until and unless you know everything about the topic. The question in the exam will not have same wording, same concept about that specific topic. And remember guys, if the topic is in the UWorld, it can and it will appear in your exam. So you need to know everything about that specific topic, and you have to be confident enough to tell yourself that no matter how they ask me, what the question ask me from this one topic, I need to know everything and I will answer everything, anything they will ask. So the key is doing as many questions as you can and spending time reviewing all the answers. Even though it will take more time to review the blocks thoroughly, it's important to spend that time since it allows you to identify what went wrong if you got the question wrong. So when you get a question wrong, try to reflect on the reason why that is missed a detail. Why you got that question wrong. Missed a detail, went through it too fast, did not know the factoid, confused by some lab finding, or did some careless mistake. And one tip from me is that as you progress through the question bank, please increase your reading speed because the vignettes are not of the same length as of UWorld. So by the time you complete your half question bank, half is left, then you switch to the timed mode and then you try to solve each block within 35 to 40 minutes. After the consolidation phase, I had a complete gap of 4 months due to some personal reasons, and then I started preparing again from scratch with the same resources but with a different strategy. I read the first aid, I watched video of only the topics I was not confident enough from Bosch and Beyond, and then I solved the question bank. This was my second pass of UR, and my percentage was around 70 to 80%, almost each block. So not much annotation was needed in this phase, and it lasted for another 4 months, and I studied for at least 6 to 8 hours daily. In the dedicated phase, before I start the dedicated phase, something bad happened. I broke my foot. I fractured my foot, and then I went again through a gap of 2 months, and I also had my college internal assessment exams. So after all of it was finished, I thought, okay, now it was time to be serious, and I paid the exam fee. And then I started again with the same resources, but now again with a very different strategy. So I watched the bite-sized videos from YouTube, like from Dirty Medicine or from Speed Pharmacology, and then I read the first aid, and I read the Melman medical PDFs, and then I solved the NBMEs. I solved all the NBMEs from NBME 1 to NBME 30. This phase lasted for 29 days, and I was studying for 14 to 16 hours per day. So 1 week before the exam, I took the free 120. Please don't do the mistake to take the free 120 1 or 2 days before the exam, because if you score less, it's gonna shatter your confidence into millions of pieces. So I had made out a list of all the topics I was scoring less in my UWorld and NBMEs, and then I reviewed it 1 week before my exam. I solved all the NBMEs from NBME 20 to 30, but always remember, first NBME is always gonna be tough. Don't dishearten yourself. If you are scoring 70 to 80% from NBME 25 to 30, then there is a very good chance that you will pass the exam. So make yourself prepared for the exam day by simulating the 8-hour environment. Make your mind prepared how you're gonna take breaks, how you're gonna sit for the 8 hours, how you're gonna solve those 280 questions in a row. So one day before exam, trust me guys, shaking in fear is not going to help. I only slept for 3 to 4 hours before my exam, and it made me so much anxious that I was losing my mind before even starting the exam. So what can I do about all of that anxiety then? You may ask me. I will answer that simply with another question. What do you enjoy doing? Just do that. Make sure there are no surprises. Make sure where the prometric is, you know well. Make sure who is going to drop you. Make sure that what you are going to take for snacks, and make sure all the documents, all the paperwork that is to be taken with you. So take pride in yourself. You have made it this far. There is no going back, and you can do it. Leave it to the God, leave it to the confidence to yourself. So how do I know I am prepared for the exam? I get this question asked a lot of time. So there is a quantitative way and there is the qualitative way. The quantitative way, as I've already explained, are the NBMEs. If you are scoring well, 70 to 80% from NBME 25 to 30, there is a very good chance that you may pass the exam. And the another way is that when, please listen to this carefully. The peak of a step one preparation is when you start to get a vibe, when you start to get an inner feeling that you know everything about medicine. You know everything about all the topics mentioned in the first aid, and you are confident enough that you can answer anything that they ask from those topics, no matter what depth they go into. So, my exam experience. So I reached the prometric 1 hour earlier, and my exam started 15 minutes late because of all the documentation and the checking process. So you may think, is the exam like UWorld or NBMEs? My simple answer will be no. The exam is not like UWorld or NBMEs. You can expect your questions to be 2 to 3 times longer than the UWorld and 3 to 4 times longer than the NBMEs. USMLE is not testing you only on your knowledge. It is testing on the efficacy of your mind. How well can you read those 25 to 30 line questions? How well you can appreciate all those lab parameter changes? And how well can you exclude all those options? It is not like 4 options. One of my question had 13 options. So your question may range from 5 to 13 options. So please be prepared for that. Please don't go into exam thinking that, oh, I have solved UWorld, the question gonna be like UWorld. It is not like that, guys. So one important tip I will give just about everyone in the medical profession is this: break time is break time. So if you're gonna stress about I messed up the previous block, I don't know this, I don't know that, what happened if I get this question, I don't know that concept, then there is no point in taking the break time. I took break after each block, even for 5 minutes, and I did not had much of the hunger stimulation. Trust me, guys, the chemicals, the dopamine rush will carry you along the whole day. You will not even get sleepy or anything, even if you have not slept the night before. And I left the example 1.5 hours early. So, how to manage medical school with USMLE? USMLE demands sacrifice. You need to make out a list of things that are important to you and things that you can sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice your friends, you may have to sacrifice the parties, the enjoyments, you may have to sacrifice the family functions, and you may have to sacrifice your mental health too sometimes. So, always remember, hard work beats talent when talent does not work hard. USMLE demands dedication. You may meet a lot of people who will start the journey with you, but they will leave the journey in between. In those times, you have to stand for yourself and you have to hold your soul strong enough that you don't break. Always think about the dream, always think about why you started and how far you have came already. Another thing is proper planning. So set up exam date in your mind. I want to give exam in this month, this week, and then plan backwards. 1 month before exam, 2 months before exam, 3 months before exam, 4 months before exam, like that. Because if you don't plan properly, then you may get lost in between, and there may be unnecessary prolongation of your USMLE timeline. So the risk and benefits plus demand and supply. So you need to check out the balance between the risk and benefits. Is it the right time for me to sit for the USMLE? Does it gonna hamper my medical school exams, medical school syllabus? And USMLE demands sacrifice, dedication, and everything. And can I supply those demands? Can I fulfill those demands? Do I have enough time, enough mentality for all those things? You need to just check and balance everything. That's it, guys, for this video. Thank you.